Mr. Nunji is present in a holding cell downstairs. He has waived his right to be present in a courtroom. The waiver has been delivered to the greffier. The civil party who is to conclude her testimony today, that is Pan So-chan, is present in a courtroom. Today we have a reserve witness through TCW 960 who confirms that through his best knowledge he has no relationship by blood or by law to any other two accused, that is Nunji and Keo Sampon, or any of the civil parties admitted in this case. The witness will take an oath before the Aryan Club statue this morning. Thank you. President, thank you, Mr. M. Hoi. The Chamber now decides on the request by Nunji. The Chamber has received a waiver from Nunji dated 13 October 2016, which states that due to his health, that is headache, back pain, he cannot sit or concentrate for long, and in order to effectively participate in future hearings, he requests to waive his rights to be present at the 13 October 2016 hearing. Having seen the medical report of Nunji by the duty doctor for the accused at the ECCCC, dated 13 October 2016, which notes that today Nunji has a lower back pain and feels dizzy when he sits for long, and recommends that the Chamber shall grant him his request so that he can follow the proceedings remotely from the holding cell downstairs. Based on the above information and pursuant to Rule 81.5 of the ECCC internal rules, the Chamber grants Nunji his request to follow today's proceedings remotely from the holding cell downstairs via an audio-visual means. The Chamber instructs the AV unit personnel to lead the proceedings to the room downstairs so that Nunji can follow. That applies for the whole day. Before I hand the floor to the defense teams, I'd like to hand the floor first to Judge Vance to put some questions to the civil party. Judge Vance, you have the floor.
Thank you, President, and good morning, everybody. I have just very few questions, and the objective of these questions is to find out if the authorities that were involved in arranging your wedding knew your age. So, a couple of questions in this direction. You told us yesterday, at the time of your wedding, you were 15 or 16 years old. Do I remember that correctly?
Yes, that is correct.
You also told us at one time that you were in a children's unit. First of all, do I remember that correctly? And secondly, if so, were you in a children's unit at the time of your wedding?
No. I was assigned to a mobile unit from the children unit, and I was there for 3 months.
Okay, let me clarify that. At the time of your wedding, you were in which unit?
I was in a mobile unit.
Was there a specific age range in this mobile unit, or were people of all ages in this unit?
At that time, they did not limit the age range. We were sent to the mobile unit.
And did I understand you correctly? You were in this mobile unit for 3 months, and before and after you were in the children unit, or did I misunderstand?
I was in a children unit, and when they thought that I was mature enough, then we were sent to a mobile unit where was in charge.
I understand. Can you tell us the age range of a children's unit? How old were people who were in a children's unit?
They were around 14 to 15 years old.
And generally, when you were sent to a mobile unit, you said that's when people thought, or the authorities thought, you were mature enough. Now, how did they determine you were mature enough? Did they say, now you are 15 years old, therefore you go? Or did they say, you look mature enough, therefore you now go to the mobile unit? Or do you know how the authorities decided when to move people from a children's unit to, in your case, a mobile unit?
At that time, the chief held a meeting, and they said that for those of us who were taller or bigger, then we would be required to be transferred to a mobile unit so that we could add more forces to that mobile unit. So they came to the school and to check upon us whether some of us will be big enough to be transferred to the mobile unit. And when we were there at the school, we did not study, but we had to cut tree leaves to make fertilizers. So they inquired with the teachers there about us, and our teacher said there were a few of us, so that we were instructed to prepare our belonging, that is a backpack, although I did not have any. I only had the clothes where I was wearing and a kroma when I left.
As far as you know, the decision was not made based on the age, but on your physical appearance and development.
They said that we could carry the tree leaves and that we were bigger among the children, so we were sent off by our teachers to the mobile unit.
Now that brings me to my original question, which is, did the authorities at the time of your wedding know how old you were? Let me first ask you, do you know, or did they ask you how old you are?
No, they did not ask me about my age. If they said, I would have told them, but they did not.
That brings me to my second question. Did you tell them? Did you say, you told us yesterday, you said, I didn't want to be married, I'm not mature enough. Did you ever say, I don't want to be married because I'm only 15 or 16? We had a similar story from a previous witness. Or did you never mention your age?
They never paid attention to our age. They called us to go, and then we realized what would happen. And then when we were there, we were given a set of clothes, and they said that they told us that the Angkar required us to get married.
To the best of your knowledge, do you know if there was any age limit when it came to marriages? How old, was there any rule or any practice that people above or below a certain age should or should not be married? Or, as far as you know, the age issue didn't come in.
During the regime, we were not informed in advance, and they did not ask us anything in advance. And there were no other people involved in the wedding.
I think my question mightn't have been clear. Do you know if there was, for instance, a rule which said females have at least to be, let's say, 18 years old to be married?
During the regime, there was no such law, as I stated. We were told that it was Angkar's determination for us to get married. I was pretty young at the time, and I did not know whose idea was it that we were forced to get married.
And perhaps an additional question. I know you were very young, but and just if you know, before the regime, how old were girls when they got married? Before the Khmer Rouge regime?
I didn't know about that. I didn't know at what age that they would get married.
That's fine. That concludes my questions.
Thank you, Judge Vance. I now hand the floor to the defense team for Nuon Chea to put questions to the civil party. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, Your Honours, Council. Good morning, Madam Civil Party. I have some follow-up questions first, before I move to your wedding. And I would like to ask you first about your participation in the documentary called Red Wedding. You said yesterday, if I understood correctly, that before you participated in the filming process, you were interviewed by a civil party lawyer. And you said that the civil party lawyers did not introduce you to the filmmakers, and that you wrote victim information form, and then you said, and maybe because I said I was young, they came to engage me. Did I understand it correctly, what you said yesterday?
Yes, that's what I said.
Now, in the film, you are in the process of writing your civil party application. You're discussing with your friend Jean what you have to answer to certain questions, and you also say that your youngest son, who received higher education, helped you with your civil party application form. Is that correct? Did that was that filmed? You writing your civil party application?
Well, the witness is thinking for the record reference in the film.
Yes, you mean the exact minute? I will get back to you on this. So on various occasions in the film, you are seen as being in the process of writing your civil party application. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
But can you explain to me how it is possible that you were interviewed by a civil party lawyer before you participated in the filming process?
At that time, they looked for people who got married under the Khmer Rouge regime and who were mistreated. And I thought of myself that I got married under the Khmer Rouge, so I then lodged or made my civil party application through my lawyer.
But did you do that before the film or while the film was being shot?
I was interviewed before the film was made.
So when one can see you being busy with filing your civil party application form, that isn't real but rather staged, so to put it, because you had already filled in your form. Is that correct?
I already filled my form. Then I participated in the filming process.
And just to be clear, the director of the film asked you to...
Counsel, please hold on. And Deputy Co-Prosecutor, you have the floor.
Just for clarity's sake, the civil party has filed multiple forms. I think when we're referring to your form, we need to know, and on multiple dates. Some occurred prior to the making of the film, some occurred after the making of the film by the dates on the documents themselves. And so I think we need some clarity as to which forms she's discussing.
I understand the remarks. Ms. Civil Party, do you recall which form it was that the director asked you, or no, let me rephrase. Do you know which form it was that that you filled in, that we can see in the film, and that you discussed with your best friend?
I recall that they came to take a filming. That is, after they learned that I lodged my civil party application because I got married when I was 14 or 15 years old, and allow me to say that I lodged my forms on a number of occasions, and I did not plan that the video filming was shot when I engaged in one of my form, because my main purpose was to lodge the form concerning my marriage under the Khmer Rouge regime. And that's after I learned that the court will trial the Khmer Rouge leaders, and since I was a victim, I'd like to engage in the process.
It is correct that there are multiple forms, but do you recall which one it was that your son assisted you in writing, and which one it was that you discussed with your friend?
I do not recall it at the time. I lodged the form, and indeed I asked my son to assist me, and I did not know when the video filming took place. I indeed discussed the matter with my friend, but I cannot recall when it took place.
Let me move on. Ms. Civil Party, another question. Did any of the filmmakers or anyone involved in the film give you money for your participation, or offer you some form of financial compensation for your participation in the film?